Don, I guess you can see where this is heading, because we are now futuristic in nature. Your sister is now with KTA. You're telling them, yeah, fly on your own. You can now go and build yourself as a person. But there are conversations that need to be had in terms of a business continuity. What keeps you awake at night?
What keeps me awake at night is simply who will take on over after me when I've probably done my job and what the business will look like. Because my belief is that for everything Aloysia has been privileged to go through in these 5 years, all of that I want to give that credit to my late mother. My credit will only be given to me if somebody else takes on the business after me successfully. So for now, that's what I'm really working on. But the reminder for me, in line with what Mom did, I think is in two ways. And one of them I already talked about. The provision or expanding in terms of having productive assets or entities. And I want to make this point with some context, okay? If you've already observed, my family has some unique dynamics in terms of religion. My mother was Muslim, my siblings are Muslim, I am Catholic, staunch, okay? Now, when we lost Mom, we had some sheikhs that came over at home, and I'm now very comfortable to share this because before I wasn't. And if our lawyers or anybody in the house understands what Sharia law is and what it states, it's that property will be divided amongst the children, Muslim children to be specific, in a certain way where the boys get a larger percentage compared to the girls. And that's what they came with. We must divide the property, let's split the assets. And my question was simple, for what purpose? Because people are coming in to now divide you early enough before there's even any chance for you people to be able to scale. And I asked them one simple question. The kids are going to school and you have a business that generates money that can support them. What is the exact purpose you're trying to divide this property for? If you want to be able to build value and wealth across the generations, I think there are some hindrances that the law needs to take into consideration. It's okay to say, yes, people are going to split and have all these things, but for what purpose? What's the obligation? Because in the end, I genuinely felt that that alone was going to be the first factors was going to divide us and create divisions at a time when we needed them the least. It's a reminder again on writing our wills. And as much as we are told often that where there's a will, there's a way, that will that is being talked about is intention. We can now bring that here. That where there's a will, at least there can be a way. Hey, I'm talking about the written one now. That was the first thing that Mom did. And we are making an effort that even on our end, we sustain the business, grow that business, but also in ways that are keen to manage the possibility of conflict for continuity. My wife is not part of Aloysia Organic, and I've never had that discussion with my siblings, but it was very intentional. Because I didn't want to create possibility or potential avenues for conflict between my siblings and my wife, despite this being a family business anyway. We are together running Dawn Swift, but she's nowhere in Aloysia, even if she knows everything that's going on. You know that's what couples do, right? They talk about everything. The second thing that Mom did that I think I can learn from is building a network of people that can feed into us. In this audience is a very strong community of BNI members that has been very, very supportive. And interestingly, it's my mom that introduced me to BNI. Many of the people that are now my friends in BNI were her very good friends. So sometimes what we're also building and where I still now bring my siblings in such audiences is to do something that Mom did for me that I think has enabled us to build towards continuity. The people that have supported us, the advice they give us, many of these guys in BNI barely know it, but they are serious consultants and business advisors. They barely know it, but they'll get that credit for it. Because the things that we pick from them in terms of mere conversations are real masterclasses. So, to my BNI family, that spirit that you have that brings people together, that's something I'm carrying forward very committedly to ensure that we now see where this goes. And the last thing I'll now talk about, those two are from my mother. The last thing I'll talk about is that our son just made 2 years in May. But when we lost Mom, I now understand quite concretely what it means to try to secure somebody's future in a way that you probably have no guarantee you'll be there, okay? I have now signed up for a policy that guarantees that my son will still be able to access school and the quality of school that I will want because I've prepared for that in advance. So that for me is one of the ways that also guarantees that kind of continuity. That if anything ever happened to me, okay, it will not be Aloysia Organic to try again to foot an obligation for something I could have prepared for much earlier. So those three are my top.